Let us close our eyes. Listen to some of the prayers. प्रपन्ना पारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्स सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्। गीतासु गीतकर्तव्या किमनेन शास्त्रविस्तरैः या स्वयं पद्मनाभस्य मुखपद्माद्भिः श्रुता। ॐ श्रीव्यासाय नमः। ॐ श्रीगणेशाय नमः। ॐ श्रीगुरवे नमः। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। Remembering Mother Durga, Mother Gita, Lord Krishna, Sri Arjuna, remembering Sri Vyasa, Lord Ganesha and the Gurus, I bow to them. I bow to all of you. Om Tat Sat Om. Namaste. Good morning. Good evening. Thank you for being here again. In India, those who love to listen to the Gita, so they are called Gita Premi. So I would address you Gita Premi, lover of the Gita. There is a very interesting story. One person came to an astrologer because he was going through some of his mental problems, something in the life. So he came to check his horoscope. So he came to the astrologer and he showed his chart. And the astrologer went through the chart and he did not find anything. He told him, look, I went through your chart, but I don't see any trouble in your zodiac sign. So what do I do? It looks like you have some mental weariness and you need to get rid of that. How do I do that? The person asked. Then astrologer said, look, if you can do one thing, if you take up the study of the Bhagavad Gita, you might be free from that mental weariness. Okay, how do I do that? If you are interested in learning the Bhagavad Gita, if you come to me, I can find some time for you. But if you learn the whole chapters, it will take 6 months. The person said, 6 months? I don't have that much time. Okay, so if you don't have that much time, so you can learn the last chapter, chapter 18, so that you have find all the gist of the Bhagavad Gita, but it will take 15 days. 15 days, I don't have that much time. I'm a busy person. What do I do? Can you simplify it? Then the astrologer told him, then you do one thing, you just learn one verse. What is that verse? Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam braja aham ta sarva papebhyo moksha ishami mahashucha. Said, can you even simplify it? Then the astrologer told, okay, you will just learn two words. Ma shucha. And this word ma shucha, you can find in the chapter 18, you can find in the chapter 16. So what is the meaning of word ma shucha? Said ma means no. Shucha means worry. So ma shucha means don't worry. The person said, I came with that idea in my mind that I am worried. Now you are telling me Don't worry, I know this, but how do I do that? So that is why I suggested you should read the Bhagavad Gita from the chapter 1, because we know that Arjuna had this trouble and Lord Krishna taught the whole Gita. So Ma Shucha, don't worry. So that was the problem of Arjuna. And to address, Lord spoke the whole Gita. So last week, sorry, not last week, day before, we discussed the chapter 15. And it is said that the Lord's teaching is up to chapter 15. After the chapter 15, the rest three chapters, it is more like the repetition. And one person asked our Gurudev, Gurudev, you are teaching the same thing again and again. Gurudev told him, look, because it is not going through you. So it looks like a tradition that the teachings are repeated again and again. And if you see in the previous chapters, there are some high philosophical ideas, lots of high theories. But if we look in the chapter 16, that is our discussion today, in chapter 16, Lord's teaching are contained only in two forces. Two forces that is known as divine force and the demoniac force. Let us see. And the name of this chapter, Daivasura Sampad Vibhaga Yoga, the discrimination between divine and demonic qualities. There are total 24 verses, and all verses are again exclusively from the Lord. So here it is said in the chapter 16, verse 6, Thou bhuta sargo lokesmin daiva asura evacha. Creativity is of two kinds. Divine creativity and the asuric creativity. Asuric means the demoniac. You can manufacture gods and you can manufacture demons. Daiva Asura Sampad Vibhaga Yoga. Our Gurudev said there are two types of forces. It is known as centripetal and the other one is centrifugal. The centripetal force that take you from the circumference, from the periphery towards the center, from the extrovert towards the introvert. Centripetal force. And the centrifugal force that take you away from the center towards the periphery, towards the circumference. And if you see, if you read our scriptures, different type of scriptures in different religions, you find the same thing. These two forces are working. If you read Ramayana, for example, you see the fight between Rama and Ravana. The fighting between these two forces. If you see like the Upanishads, if you see like other religions, like if you see in Christianity, there is God, there is Satan. If you see in Islam, there is Allah and there is Elvis. So just to teach you, just to educate you, these two forces are working in us. This example have been given. If you study Upanishads, you will see that the seed for this duality or the conflict is sown at the time of the creation. In Upanishad, it is said, Ekoham Bahusyamaha. I am one and I want to become many. And when God manifested himself into many, that is where the conflict started. And somebody asked Paramahamsa Yogananji, why there is so much of problems, sufferings happening in this world? Why there are so much of negativities? Paramahamsa Yogananji told the person, look, you will not like a movie which has no emotion, no fighting. You want a movie which have all kinds of things. So these two forces are existing all the time. In the Bhagavad Gita, you see in the first chapter, if you see in the first chapter, there is battlefield. There is fight between Kauravas and the Pandavas. The fight between the Devas, the divine qualities, and the demonic qualities. Guruji told life is a battle and the world is a battlefield, and we have to fight this battle. And when we fight this battle, we gather our forces. And we have to fight with whom? Fight with the enemies. When we are ready to fight, at the same time, they are also ready to fight. It is said that never underestimate the power of the enemies. So when you fight with the enemies, two things have been suggested. Either you kill the enemy or you imprison them in such a way they cannot come out. Two things, either you kill them completely or you imprison them. But that is not happening with us. We have been fighting from lives after lives, but the problem is we are leaving them in between. Again, they are gathering their forces and attacking. There was a Hindu king, and he was the last Hindu king of India. He defeated the Muslim ruler Muhammad Ghori few times. But the mistake he did, he left him in between. Finally, what happened? He gathered his forces, he attacked him, and he killed him. That is why it has been suggested either you kill or you imprison. Don't live in between. When you study the 16th chapter, in the beginning of the 16th chapter, the first three verses, Lord is discussing, Lord is talking about the divine qualities. And in these three verses, he is discussing there are 26 divine qualities. And in the verse 4, he is discussing the demonic qualities, and there are 6 demonic qualities. 26 divine qualities and 6 demonic qualities. It looks that the divine qualities are more powerful. It is true, they are more powerful, but remember, the demonic qualities, the Asuri qualities, the Asuras, they're more united. And you can see this example in the day-to-day society. There are very few group of people. They create chaos. They create commotions for the whole society because they're more united. The 26 divine qualities, and the first one here, it's Abhayam. The first one is Abhayam, and Abhayam means fearlessness. Abhaya means the fearlessness. And these two groups, the Devas and Asuras, they are in need formation, ready to fight, standing against each other to fight. And every army needs a commander. And here the divine qualities. They have also appointed one commander, and that commander is Abhaya. Abhaya means fearlessness. This is the first quality to be cultivated for a seeker, and very purposefully, consciously, Lord has put this quality first, fearlessness. If you want to cultivate all other qualities, if you cannot cultivate fearlessness, they won't last long. So that is the first quality to be cultivated, the fearlessness. When fearlessness, abhayam, is standing in the front, and in the back who is standing, it said no atimanita. Atimanita means humility. Look, such a wonderful strategy you see here. Beautiful strategy is made by the Lord. Starting from fearlessness up to the 25th, once your ego gets inflated, there can be severe attack from the back. And who is standing in the back? It is the humility standing in the back. You might cultivate all 25 qualities. If you do not cultivate the humility who is standing all in the back, there can be severe attack from the back. Humility is in the back, abhaya in the front. When abhaya or the fearlessness that is taking you further, humility in the back ensures your safety. So these 26 qualities to be cultivated. And the if you go to verse 4, where Lord explains the 6 demonic qualities. And all those 26 qualities, you read Gurudev's book, Gurudev has beautifully explained what are those. Beautiful way Gurudev has discussed in his book. And the 6 demonic qualities, what are the 6 demonic qualities? It is said, Dambho Darpo Bhimanascha Krodha Parushamay Vacha Ajnanam cha abhijata cha partha sampadam asurim. O Arjuna, these are the 6 demonic qualities. So who is in the front? Dambha. Dambha means hypocrisy. Who is in the back? Ajnanam. Ajnana is ignorance. Any mistake we do, what, we take this, innocent excuse that I am ignorant. I don't know. This is such an innocent excuse that we take every time because I'm in ignorance. In the front, it is the hypocrisy standing, dambha. In the back, who is standing, it is the ignorance. And ignorance is supporting, move ahead, I'm in the back. So a seeker has to be very, very careful. Very, very careful. And in Yoga Sutra, you will see Sage Patanjali talks of 5 types of affliction, and in the 5 types of affliction, he discusses ignorance, or avidya is the first. He's saying avidya is the mother, ignorance is the mother. In the womb of ignorance, all other negative qualities are growing. That is why you have to be very, very careful. So 26 divine qualities and 6 demonic qualities. In the verse 5, Lord is saying, Daivi sampad vimokshaya nibandhaya shurimata ma shuchaha. I told you the story ma shucha in the beginning. This is the verse. Ma shuchaha. Ma shuchaha sampadam daivim abhijatasi pandava. Lord is saying, Daivi sampad vimokshaya nibandhaya shurimata. The divine qualities. When you cultivate divine qualities, that will give you a taste of freedom that will give you the ultimate experience of truth when you cultivate the divine qualities. And when you cultivate the demonic qualities, that will bind you in bondage. Then Lord is saying, "O Arjuna, Ma Shuchaha, you don't worry. Why? Because you are born. You are born with the divine qualities. So you should not be worried at all." If we ask ourselves, are we not born with divine qualities? Gurudev said, self realization is our birthright. We can claim this all the time. That is our birthright. We are born with divine qualities. Maybe few negative qualities. We have to work with those and remove those. We have to remove those. When I said we are born with the divine qualities, and if you study the Vedanta, it is said we got this human body, it is because of the result of past good karmas. It's a kritam satkarma janyam. Because we have done some good karmas in the previous life, that is why we got this human body. When Lord is saying, Ma Shuchaha, oh Arjuna, don't worry, we should not be worried. Look within, we have so much of good qualities. The problem happens, we should be thinking of what are the negative qualities in us and work with those. A person might be a very good person, but person is short tempered, and we know what happens. So we have to be very careful about those. As you go a little bit deeper into the subject, though in the beginning Lord discussed the 26 divine qualities, but throughout the chapters, Lord talks of how the demonic qualities function. How is their mindset? What do they think? From the verse 7 till 21, Lord explains more details about the demonic qualities. And you see, it is very interesting when you read, it's very interesting. What do they think? These people have a lot of ego, lot of pride. They never follow any rules or regulations. What do they think? It is said that they say, I kill this person, I will kill the other person. I have lots of money and I'm going to earn a lot of money in the future. All the time, their mind is working with these kind of thoughts. It is said, Aso maya hatah satru. This person was killed by me and I will kill the other person. Then he said, Konnosti sadrusam maya. It is very interesting. Lord is saying, the demonic people think, can anybody become like me? Konnosti sadrusam maya. So from the verse 7 till 21, Lord discuss in a various way what are the mindset of the asuras or the demonic people. It is said that the three asuric ambition, what are those? Power, culture, and money. Very interesting. Power, culture, and money. You see, those who have a lot of power, what do? They force others to accept their culture. That is we see nowadays. The country which is very powerful, power of money. They force others to accept their culture. Sometime back, the Brahmins, they're very powerful. They created the rules. They force others to accept the rules. Even the kings accepted whatever the rules led by the Brahmins. Now that time passed. Then the Kshatriyas, the warrior class came. They fought. They killed the people. They forced people to accept whatever they say. That time passed. If you look at now, who's ruling the society? It is the businessman. They have power of money. They force the country to accept whatever they say. And you will see this will also change. Nowadays, most of the fight is between it is for the economic gain. And the time is coming that will also change. So the power, the culture, and the money. These are the three Asuric ambition. As you go little bit towards the end of the chapter, in the verse 21, here Lord is saying, Tribidham narakasya idam dwaram nasanam atmanah kama krodha tatha lobha tasmat etat trayam tyajet. In this particular verse, very interesting, you might have heard this discourse many times from Guruji. There are three doors to hell. What are those? Kama, Krodha, and Lobha. Three. Kama. Kama means intense longing, which is very, very difficult to avoid. And when the strong passion is obstructed, you want to achieve something, you have that strong desire, and when it is obstructed, what happens? The anger arises. The person gets really angry. And it is said that this Kama and Krodha, they are the dual factors operating one single force of longing, desire, the anger. And Guruji wrote this beautiful book, Freedom from the Anger. And if you read that book, in a very systematic way, Guruji has discussed various aspects of anger. In that book, Guruji is saying the seed of anger is ignorance. The sprout of anger is a desire and expectation. The tree of anger is chaos and commotion, and the fruit of anger is misery and suffering. Anger. Paramahamsa Yogananda said, anger is an emotion. Anger is an emotion, and we express the emotion. And Paramahamsa Yogananda said, when we express our anger, it is like allowing 2000 volt of current into a thin wire. What will happen? So for example, the thin wire, maybe it can sustain like 200 volt, and you are allowing 2000 volt of current. What will happen? It will get burnt. In the same way, when we express our anger, our body, the cells, the tissues, the nerves, they are not designed to take such high emotion. So there can be damage. So we have to be very, very careful about the anger aspect. Swami Sivananji said, you might get angry for 2 minutes, but the impression can remain in the subtle body for 2 days. So 3 doors to hell: Kama, passion, strong passion; anger, Krodha; and Lobha, greed. So 3 things, right? So in this chapter, we are discussing the qualities of Devas, divine beings, and the Asuras. So we are leaving the humans. Humans also coming in between. There is a beautiful story in the Upanishad, and the story says, the creator, Prajapati Brahma, one day he called all of them, called the divine beings, called the humans, called the Asuras. He called for a meeting, and all of them came. They sat in the meeting, and they're waiting that creator Brahma will come and will give a discourse. And finally he came. he looked at everybody and he just said one word, and that is the. D-A, the. And he just said the and he left. People are curious, what is the meaning of the? So all the divine beings, they sat down together. All the humans, they sat down together. All the demonic, the asuras, they also sat down together. They started discussing, what is the meaning of the for us? The divine beings, they thought, we are the divine, we are the gods. And as it is said, in the heaven, they are busy with sense pleasure. Because we are always busy with the sense pleasure, here the means damana. Daman means control, restraint. You have to control your desire. So for us, the means damana. Then the asuras, they thought, what is the meaning of the for us? Say, we are the cruel people. We always express our anger towards others. And we should be forgiving. We should become compassionate towards others. Here, the means daya. We are the asuras and we should practice daya or the compassion, the forgiveness. And the humans, they said, for us, what is the meaning of the? We are the humans. We are very greedy all the time. For us, the means danam, giving charity. When Lord said, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, these are the three doors to hell, and how to control them, practice these three things. Control the desire. Do charity. Forgive others. That is how we can be free from these three doors. That will take you towards the hell. Three doors to hell. And towards the end of the 16th chapter, you will see here Lord is saying, if you really want to live a true, purposeful spiritual life, do not follow your own whims. Do not follow your own whims. Follow what is told by the scripture. For us, follow what is told by the master. Then you will be free from the demonic qualities and you will rise in divine qualities. And when you cultivate more of the divine qualities, it is said, Nibandhaya Surimata Daivi Sampad Vimokshaya. When you cultivate divine qualities, that will give you a taste of freedom. And when you do not cultivate the divine qualities, when we are more in the negative qualities, that will give you, or that will take you, or that will bind you in bondage. So this much is the discussion today. So this 16th chapter is really interesting and very easy to read. There is not so high philosophical ideas. Very simple. Negative force and positive force. Please find some time and read this. So we'll today this much. So tomorrow we'll meet this time at 7:30 India time and we'll discuss the 17th chapter. Let us close our eyes. Concentrate in between the two eyebrows. The teachings of Lahiri Mahasaya, he said in Bengali, Manusher Madhe Surak Narak, Manusher Madhe Sur Asur. Everything, the divine qualities, the demoniac qualities, it is all in us. Our sadhana, our spiritual practice is to remove the negative qualities and we are established in divine qualities and that will give you the taste of freedom. Om Brahmarpanamastu. Thank you. Let the blessings of God, Gurudev, Lord on all of us. Om.